What is going on, Aegis Army? It's your boy TwilightAegis back with some Xenoblade Chronicles X. Last time, what did we do? Well, we basically got introduced to NLA. We met some new characters like Irina, Gwen, Doug, and Lynn. And we also got sort of a flight tour thanks to Lynn. We went to the Blade Barracks, we met with Secretary Nagi, got a little information about registration, and then we got a little bit of a tour through the administration district, and that is where we are right now. We are right here in front of Blade Tower. And then we kind of ended off with the mission saying go back to the Blade Barracks and to report to Secretary Nagi, and that's exactly what we're about to do. Alright, so there we go. First things first, I want to thank you guys so much for the support on this series. We were only on episode 3, and we are now at 13 subscribers, and we started at about 3. So that is about a 10 subscriber gain. So thank you guys so much for that support. I have a lot of people messaging me just saying that they really enjoy this and that this game looks very cool. And that was sort of my mission, was just to spread the love for this game and basically give it the appreciation it deserved. And I thank you guys so much for your support with that. That's just amazing, and I'm very surprised and delighted to see where it's gone already. So again, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate your support. Alright, so let's go ahead and head into the Blade Barracks here.
Honey, we're home.
Yes, very amusing.
Who wants a fresh cup of tea?
Thank you, Ms. Gu, but I can't stay long. I just wanted to pass along a request from your commanding officer.
Commander Vandam? Does it have anything to do with our new arrival?
Correct. He stopped by while you were out on your tour. He said he'll come back, but that I shouldn't wait to ask you.
Here we go. I bet I can guess.
You probably can. He wants to fast-track our new friend here for blade duty with a training assignment. What in the hell are we waiting for? As he put it.
The commander does have a way with words.
Makes even my pitch sound smooth.
I explained about the memory issues, but he didn't see it as a problem. And to be honest, given our current need for blade recruits, I can't say I entirely disagree.
Hey, it's not me you need to convince. Blade service is voluntary, remember?
Of course, and I would never force or coerce anyone. Well, friend, what do you say? Can we count on you to do your part? I knew you'd make the right choice. Welcome to the organization. Elma, he can start on your team. You'll begin training immediately.
Yes, Mr. Secretary. With pleasure.
All right. Welcome to the Cool Kids Club.
Now then, let's discuss that training assignment. We've decided to start you out on a probe installation, just to get your feet wet.
I guess we should back up a bit. Here in New LA, we're using a specialized computer system called Frontier Nav to help us deploy a sensor grid across Mira. A network of data probes that allows us to monitor conditions and collect all kinds of information about the planet.
Expanding that grid and filling in the blind spots is one of Blade's highest priorities. Here, take a look at this. What you're seeing on screen is a terrain map that includes New LA and the surrounding landmass. As you can see, we've divided the area into a series of hexagonal blocks. We call these blocks segments. Together, they form our grid. We determined this was the most efficient pattern, given the limited range of our probes. Based on it, we know exactly where we need the probes to go. Now we just have to install them.
The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned. The Frontier Nav probes can also detect the general locations of living things in the vicinity, which comes in handy if we need to track down a blade or another citizen.
Yes, quite handy indeed. So for this first exercise, you'll be heading here, to that white segment. Go there, install the data probe, and then come back home.
Got it. East of the city.
In that case, we can take the East Gate out of the administrative district, right? We should be there in no time.
I'll leave the details on the data probe installation procedure to you, Elma.
Of course, Mr. Secretary. All right, you two, shall we?
Yeah! Training or not, let's go install the hell out of that probe!
Alright, so let's go install that probe. Alright, so I'm gonna leave the barracks here.
Man, am I glad we pulled an assignment to the east of the city this time. It'd be a long walk all the way back over to the West Gate.
Hold on. Are we even sure the East Gate will be open? Last I heard, it was still on lockdown from all the high-level indigent activity.
It was, but they just lowered the threat level earlier today. The gates are officially open for business. One of our teams must have gone out there and kicked some furry indigent butt, huh?
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Irina's team is one of our best.
How does he know Irina and Gwyn?
We ran into them just before we met up with you. They were on their way out to an assignment.
Well, then that settles it. It must have been them, right? Man, forget this amateur hour probe baloney. Those guys are where the action's at.
I'll try not to take that personally. But enough talk. We've got our mission to deal with. Let's head out.
Roger. That probe isn't gonna install itself. Let's get to the East Gate, shall we?
Alright, so Eleanor is just telling us about a segment map. It's basically just the map on the gamepad screen, and unfortunately I can't really show you that. But, I can just explain it a little bit as we go throughout this adventure, but it's important, but not super duper important.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just gonna head right out of this East Gate here. And you know, I think now would be a really good time to kind of show off that we can switch our party members here. So if we go down here to active members, we can switch between Cross, Elma, and Lynn. So let's go ahead and show off Elma here. Oh, whoops. Let's fix that. There we go. So now we are playing as Elma, obviously. Alright, so this is the gate I actually use most whenever I play this game. And I want you to notice something, alright? You see how everything sort of changed? We were in LA, we came out here into Primordia, right? And you heard the music fade away and then the Primordia music pick up. Notice how there was no loading screen. Yes, no loading screen. Whenever it comes to this game, you can go in and out of NLA, Primordia, and other continents without loading screens. It's very nice. It's very nice. The only loading screen in the overworld is going into the Blade Barracks, as you've probably noticed. But yeah, it does not take any loading time to go from in the city to out of the city, and it's really nice. Alright. So we're just gonna head forward here. So, as you probably noticed, Elma is not in the same weapon class as Cross is. She has dual guns and dual swords, which we will be showing off in our future battles here. Let's go ahead and inspect and see what's wrong over here.
What the hell happened here? You don't think that one Sinicula could have killed all these Simius?
Unless...
Unless... what?
this is bad.
What's bad? I don't follow you.
That Sinicula. It's a tyrant.
Huh? But it looks just like any other Sinicula.
Think about it. Your typical Simius is way higher up on the food chain than your typical Sinicula, right? Usually we'd find one Simius standing over 3 or 4 Sinicula corpses. But here, the tables have been turned. And I don't see a single trace of any other indigents in the area. There's only one explanation. That Sinicula is a tyrant.
Let me check the Blade Report database. If there's a tyrant this close to the city, someone must have run across it. Bingo. There was a Sinicula tyrant sighted not too long ago, but it was a couple of segments further out.
It could have followed the blade that spotted it back towards New LA, or come here to feed, or who knows what.
That's crazy. I can't believe there's a tyrant right on our doorstep and HQ isn't doing a thing about it.
Well, don't forget why they sent us here in the first place. Frontier Nav's range is still limited.
Oh, right. They couldn't track it if there's no local probe. They must have lost it when it went off the grid. Whoa, whoa, whoa there, rookie. We're talking about a tyrant here. Do you even understand what that means?
We should probably explain. Tyrant is our term for any indigenous life form that falls outside of our usual threat ranking system. In other words, they're too powerful for us to even measure how dangerous they would be to take on.
And too powerful doesn't always just mean physically strong. If a creature has even a single especially nasty trait, it's classified as a tyrant.
Even some of Blade's very best teams have come back with serious injuries after running into a tyrant in the field. If they come back at all. As long as you understand the risks involved. Lynn?
Count me in. The same goes for everyone in New LA, but if we're gonna settle here on this planet, we're gonna have to get used to dealing with tyrants now and then. Besides, if I need to, I can always run away while it's busy chewing on one of you guys.
Fair enough. But don't push it, okay? Either of you. If we can take it down, great, but if not, even just luring it away would be a moral victory. As long as we buy enough time to install the probe, we can use Frontier Nav to track it, or any other tyrant that comes this close to the city from now on. Just make sure you're ready before we attack. This will be tougher than anything else we've faced.
Alright, so Lynn here is telling us a little bit about gear and arts, and you can level up your arts in this game and switch out arts as you get multiple arts, and then of course you can purchase new gear and all of that kind of stuff, which we aren't going to fiddle with that just yet, but that stuff is going to be very important in the oncoming future. So let's go ahead and take down this tyrant here. Alright. Alright, so yeah, we're using our dual guns. We've got dual swords going on here. Lynn asks for a ranged attack there, so we're going to go with that sliding slinger. Alright. So hopefully this guy's going to be no problem. Let's go for a Shadow Strike. Oh, he actually knocked me out of that. That's not okay. Alright, let's get an upper hand going. Side slash. Let's get on its side so that'll do more damage. Oh, and we answered Lynn's call there, so that's good. Alright, come on, let's get the stream edge. There we go. It's a very good attack. I'll go a little bit more into Elma's moveset as we progress, but right now I'm just going to really focus on taking down this tyrant. Alright, we're doing some good work on him. He's almost down. And the music that is currently playing is music unique to Tyrant battles. So you will not hear this song unless if you are actually fighting a Tyrant. Alright, let's use that sliding slinger right there. Let's get this Shadow Strike in. There's another side slash. And let's finish him off with a Stream Edge. There we go. Took him down.
We are awesome!
Nice work, Lynn. You fought well. You did too. Now let's get down to business and install that data probe. If we stay here for long, there's no telling what other playmates might show up. This beam of light indicates a frontier nav site. It marks the ideal spot to bury the probe.
Okay, the probe should be ready for insertion. I'll just boot it up.
Thanks, Lynn. The top half of the cylinder contains the probe itself. The bottom half is a laser. It dissolves the soil so the probe can burrow to the proper depth. We tried just planting them on the surface at first, but we kept running into problems with the local wildlife damaging the goods. Burying them is going to save us all a lot of time and headaches in the long run. We all set?
Yes, ma'am. Whenever you're ready.
Why don't you do the honors? You can launch it right from your comm device. Give it a try. Good. Now we just need to give it a minute to reach the target depth.
And installation complete. We are now online with a solid connection to Frontier Nav.
Excellent. See? At the end of the day, there's really not much to it. The hardest part was calculating the ideal probe locations. We need them spread out evenly to maximize data collection.
Yep, planting probes is easy. And the more we plant, the more likely we are to find missing crew. So anytime you see a probe site, there's no excuse not to plant that sucker.
That'll do it for your training. Let's head back to the barracks and report to Secretary Nagi.
Alright.
Let's chew on any planet.
Alright, so there's this guy Lau right here. Just telling us a little bit about installing data probes. Elma's telling us about sort of the size levels of enemies. Alright, so one thing I want to mention right here. Yeah, we did install a probe here, and that's basically a warp point. So that's, the probe's main function in this game, is it does open up some stuff on the map on the gamepad, but it also serves as a warp point. So if you really don't feel like running everywhere, you can just warp to all the places that you have installed the data probe. So that's actually very useful. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to switch back to Cross here. I just wanted to use Elma for that one battle. Just because I wanted to introduce using other characters. Alright. So I have been getting some questions about this game. This game is a Wii U exclusive, so if you do not have a Wii U, you will not be able to get this game. But Wii U's, especially used Wii U's, are not that expensive. I mean, for a console, I guess they're not that expensive. You can find them at GameStops or Mega Replays or wherever you need to go. But yeah, so if you really want to play this game, then check in with places like that that sell used consoles, and you can probably get a used Wii U, for a reasonable price. And then of course you'll have to get the game, which I don't exactly know on the top of my head if it's still 60. I highly doubt this game is still 60 bucks. Even if it was, it would still be worth it in my eyes. But yeah, so if you were wondering, it is a Wii U exclusive. Alright, so let's go report back to Secretary Nagi.
Commander Vandam.
Well now, look what the cat dragged in.
Sorry we missed you last time. We could have come to meet you at HQ, you know.
Indeed. I suggested as much. Twice.
And we know how much I enjoy being told what to do. Anyway, I hear you tangled with a tyrant, way out of your league, on a training mission, no less. That was reckless, and goddamn magnificent.
So, Commander, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit here today?
Well, I can't just ask Nagi to do everything for me. I'd be out of a job.
Hey, I delivered you the new recruit, didn't I?
Yeah, you won the bet. Don't worry about it, all right? I'll settle up with you later. You know I'm good for it.
The bet?
I'm sure I'm needed elsewhere. If you'll all excuse me, Commander.
Well, that wasn't obvious at all.
Huh. Look at you two. I swear, you're like two children excited about a new toy.
Look who's talking. I don't recall ever seeing you file a request to personally train a rescue before.
Is that so odd?
It is before we'd even asked him to become a blade, little miss stick in the rear.
Usually I ask when I don't get your slang expressions, but something tells me to just let that one go.
Enough about that. Where are your manners, anyway? I still haven't been introduced to our new recruit here.
Commander Vandam is Blade's top officer.
In a past life, I was chief engineer on the White Whale. Same idea, basically. Someone has a problem, I fix it. You follow? Huh. Not much for conversation, are you?
So you still haven't told us why you're here. From the look of things, I'm guessing this isn't a social call.
You don't think?
No. So let's cut the crap and get down to business.
Ha! Sounds like you're learning my expressions just fine, Elma. Anyway, first we need Chatty Cathy here to choose a division and pull an assignment.
Pretty much everyone in New LA works for Blade, in one of several different fields. Helping to explore Mira, or to maintain order in the city, or, well, you remember Nagi's speech, right? There are 8 different fields in all, and each one has its own branch within Blade. Officially, they're called divisions. Naturally, you'll want to choose one that best suits your personality and your talents.
Let's start with the Pathfinders. Pathfinder's #1 responsibility is planting data probes, like you did on your training mission. It may not be the sexiest job, but important? You bet your ass it's important. We've only been on Mira 2 months. We don't know jack about this place. The more probes we install, the faster we can get our bearings here and give ourselves a fighting chance.
We've already detailed how important it is we expand the Frontier Nav network ASAP. So, for the time being, I'll just remind you of the highlights. It helps us keep Blade safe. It helps us keep the city safe. And most important of all, it's the key to locating the missing parts of the Lifehold and recovering the rest of the human race.
Okay, next up, Interceptors. You met Akeloff and Evans, right? Irina and Gwen? This is their division. Interceptors have one main duty: protect New LA and everyone in it from the wildlife here on Mira. Right now, this is probably our busiest division. Interceptors ride shotgun for the research eggheads, they escort VIPs around, and they help any other idiots who get caught out there with their pants down.
Next are the Harriers. Remember Doug Barrett, the Skell pilot conducting the test flight with Lynn? He's part of the Harriers. If you think of the Interceptors as defense, Harriers would be New LA's offense. They specialize in preemptive strikes on clear and obvious threats. But only on clear and obvious threats. They're not meant to go out and just blast any indigen that moves.
And you got your Reclaimers. These guys are in charge of finding the other pieces of the White Whale. Among other things, that is. Including anything of ours left behind after a battle. Skell debris, weapons, personal effects. It can get a bit morbid, frankly, but it's gotta be done. Until we're up and running here on Mira, and have this place completely figured out. Everything we brought from Earth needs to be treated like it's irreplaceable. Also, the search for the Lifehold. That's mostly on the Reclaimers.
Next, Curators. Curators are the first to scout ahead to unexplored territory, bringing back whatever samples they can get their hands on. Fruits, bugs, sticks and stones, you name it. It's not all picking berries, though. Being a curator also means being the first to encounter unknown indigens.
Next? All right, prospectors. Prospectors do, well, prospecting. They poke around, looking for minerals, resources, and whatnot. Things we need for everyday life here. We packed all the essentials we could on the White Whale, but that won't last forever. We need to be able to replenish our water and fuel if we want to survive. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to figure out how to replace things from scratch. From the socket on a Skell's knee joint, right down to the frying pan in Lynn's kitchen. Without these guys busting their butts, we'd have no future to speak of.
Next up, Outfitters. All of our ground gear and Skell weaponry is developed in conjunction with private arms manufacturers, or AMs. Outfitters are Blade's way of supporting these AMs. They'll seek out anything that might inspire new weapon ideas, and even assist with testing new prototypes.
Finally, the Mediators. These are the folks who keep everything hunky-dory with John and Joan Q public. Any problems a civvy has, they come to Mediators. Fight with your neighbor? Mediators. Lost cat? Mediators. It's not a division for everyone. You need to be a jack of all trades, and a people person. Someone with my charming personality? Probably not the best mediator. But if you got what it takes, it's a clutch role, keeping things cool on the home front.
All right, so I think that's all 8 divisions. Any idea which one you'd like to join? Don't fret about it too much. Whichever you choose, you still have a lot of freedom in how you operate. Mediators can still get out there and mix it up, hunt indigens, whatever. And if a Harrier wants to take a break and settle an argument, that's their prerogative too. To be honest, even though it's sort of frowned upon, you can actually change your division whenever you like. So there's really no reason to stress about this. All right, you ready to choose?
Yeah, and? We're on pins and needles here.
Then it's settled?
All right. Thank God that's over. By the power invested in me, yada yada, you're officially a Blade.
Congrats, and welcome.
I know you're gonna do great.
Now for the job. Let's get down to brass tacks. Nelson's team has gone missing. Last contact we had, they were installing a data probe out in eastern Primordia. Then, nothing.
Nelson. Pathfinders, right?
Are we talking indigents here or what?
Your guess is as good as mine, but they did have a skell with them. You'd think they could hold their own, or at least run away.
Alright, we're on it. We'll head to their last known location and go from there.
Report whatever you find ASAP.
Of course. Let's move out.
Roger that.
Alright. So now we are officially a Blade, so basically we just have access to actually buy things now, accept side quests, that kind of stuff. Alright, and this just tells us a little bit about fast travel. And this is just talking about investing in arms manufacturers, which is pretty important. We'll get into that later. Alright, so we've got a team that's gone missing in Primordia, so we should probably go find them. However, I'm actually going to go ahead and end the video here. So, next time we're going to go find out what's going on with that. We're going to go see what's going on with the people who are missing, and go find out why they are missing. So guys, thank you so much for coming out to episode 3 of Xenoblade Chronicles X. If you liked my content, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you feel so inclined to join the Aegis army, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it, and I hope you all have a really great day. This is TwilightAegis, signing out. Peace.